Hello, Michael. How are you?
Hello, Ricky. How are you?
Not too bad, man. Getting ready to slip into a nice holiday weekend. Uh, Things have been going good. How about yourself?
Yeah, no complaints. Trying to get the audiobook submitted tonight. I'm going to do a final proofing listen of the edited tracks after this, and then I have to toss together the um, cover design for the audiobook, which I already have all the assets and stuff. I just have to actually do it. So, rounding third base on that, and then moving on to some other stuff. Obviously, like I'll keep promoting around the Exploring Our National Parks project, which will have videos coming out in the new year at some point, whenever I finally get around to them. So yeah, that's kind of the next phase of that project. But I've got like a bunch of other stuff on deck as well. So working on some video stuff, working on video stuff with Chris, working on a bunch of stuff with Chris, honestly. Working on a short story that will come out in the spring. I would love to like get 1 or 2 more days in the next month to like really hammer out the draft I'm working on, and then probably both of you guys can actually beta read it if you want when that's ready. So that's the majority of what I'm working on. Looking forward to eating turkey tomorrow. Trying to fend off a little bit of like the beginnings of a head cold because I'm perceiving it. So I've been taking zinc and magnesium and drinking my lemon juice and cayenne pepper elixir to fight all that off. So yeah, that's the gist of it. What about you? What are you up to?
I finished about a month ago. I finished Wargate. That's all done and edited.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Kyrum 6 is also has been done. So Wargate and Kyrum 6 are 2 of the 3 that I want to put up next year on Royal Road.
Nice.
I just finished Princes of Turmoil.
I saw that.
I know. Thank you for acknowledging. I just finished that, and I'm like 6 chapters in to edit that. So stuff's been going great, I already have my next project lined up. Like I know where I'm going. All 3 of the next phase of Royal Roaders are begun already. Wargate 2, Book of Draken, and the Doom at Labosin Station. They're all begun already. They have like a couple. One is 10K, one is 20K, and one is like 80K. So hopefully next year I can knock all that out too,
Epics. I am probably going to be picking up a paperback copy of your short story collection here in the next couple of weeks because I've got a couple of things I need to order, and I think I'm gonna make sure that your book is in that order.
I really appreciate that, and I would love your thoughts on those stories. That would be great. You know what I mean?
I don't know when I'll get to read them. I obviously I try and keep everything in rotation, but at the very least, once it's in my possession, it's that one step closer to being able to read it. I've been sitting on a book from another guy I know. A year. I don't want to make you wait that long. I've put his off for that long because I read the first book in his series, and he is now currently working on the 3rd book in his series. So I'm not feeling necessarily pressed because that 3rd book isn't out. However, in the meantime, I have read a few other books from some folks that I know and put out their pieces. And you're next. You and this other guy that I know he's also a very consistent writer, puts out at least a paperback a year, novella sized, and he has some really cool cover design and stuff like that. And I assume he's also a good writer, though I have not read anything of his yet. I'm willing to give it a shot and support the arts, as it were.
Yeah, no, that's always valued by me, and I dig it, man. Like life's busy. Like I'm reading like 6 different books now myself, so you get to it when you get to it. I appreciate the patronage and the consideration. You know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I would, I listen to a lot of audiobooks, obviously. Post that stuff up fairly regularly as I complete it. But when it comes to the people that I know, and when I buy their books, and I do, buy, let's say, 3 to 5 books from people that I know a year. I want them to be the paperback version. I want to own it, possess it, be able to photograph it and post it up and promote it, and do the podcast with those people, and the whole bit. That's like, I feel like that's like the best thing I can do for the folks that I know is get their work, help them promote as best as possible, offer up reviews and things like that, participate.
That's marvelous. That's great.
Yeah. What else is going on? We had a solid space yesterday, music and songwriting with Heidi and I. Got a little technical at times. That recording is available. I could probably post it up. I'll make it easy. Why not? Make it easy for people.
I was listening to parts of it. I was really extremely crushed with work yesterday. So I was kind of like in and out, but I had no idea you were so talented a musician because you were talking about all these modes and scales. I mean, you sound like my cousin. My cousin's a songwriter. He's very, very talented. And I think you guys are, on a very similar level, which is impressive because he's an accountant or whatever, but he wrote like 3, 4 albums of like, and I mean, his albums are not B cuts. Like these albums are solid. Like they could be records. It's just, he has no time to do it. But I was very interested in that, but I couldn't devote as much of my brain to it as I wanted to because the work was, it was a lot and it was like complicated, but it was cool to listen to it. You and Heidi going back and forth. I wish I could have heard more.
Yeah, she was a singer and a lyricist back in the day with a group or two. I'm not totally clear. I know she did it for a few years, but that's her side of things. She also has lyrics that she's been writing for the Songless series, and then in the audiobook versions, because I am privy to the the early beta listening cuts. She does some singing inside of her audiobook where she's performing the lyrics and stuff too, which is cool. So that's a great way to add life to stories and to kind of bring an additional depth to what is on the written page when it's converting over to audio. That's not something that I don't think I've sung on an audiobook. I'm trying to remember. I've done all kinds of stuff in the audiobooks, but I don't think I've sung in them. So yeah, she might have a foot forward on me on that one. But yeah, I spent a lot of time with music over the years, and in fact, like the first short story I put out was the lyrics of a song I converted into a short story. So the original Relic, the element, is those were song lyrics that I turned into a short story to kind of build it out and stuff. These things we can transmute our work into all kinds of different formats. I would love to re-record that song at some point. I just do not have the capacity for that. I really don't pursue music in any serious way anymore. I've spent enough time on it in the past, though I am going to be working on music again for the videos for exploring our national parks. So I've started recording little snippets of ideas when they come to me, because I've been kind of practicing guitar a little bit, doing warm-ups and things like that. And, as soon as you start picking it up, ideas start to kind of populate. So grabbing the ideas and then I'll kind of fit them into the soundtrack for the video series, and then I'll put out that music on Bandcamp. It'll just be instrumental stuff there, and won't be like singing behind my spoken word versions of the chapters and stuff. So yeah, I like kind of dabbling into a bunch of different formats and being able to write in all kinds of different ways, so that, it's just what I like doing. Anybody can do whatever they like.
I have a spoken word CD myself from 2004. Before my novel writing days, I considered myself to be a poet, and I was very interested in the spoken word genre, among other things. And that album is on Spreaker.com.
Link us.
Yeah, well, I haven't been on there in a while. Let me go to it and see. It's probably going to want me to like update it. But it's called The Machinations of the Cybernetic Phantom God. Let me see if I can.
Super epic.
Yeah, well, that's the place I was at back in the day.
Hold on a second. The Machinations of the Cyber what now?
Machinations of the Cybernetic Phantom God. Spreaker it's speaker, but with an R. Spreaker.com. It's this little mediocre podcast platform that my friend recommended that I go on. It was before, I think, because I've had stuff on there for like a minute now, like quite some time. But I think it was like before I even heard of Spotify. Otherwise, because my Mount Timeless podcasts are on Spotify now.
Oh, bro,
We
I
got a
found it.
decent. Yeah, well, that if you start with that, and it's slow. It's again, we made it for like a bucket of chicken and like $10 back in the day. Like we had very very little money, and it was bohemian as hell. But it's a trip. It's a tripped spoken word album. Like it's pretty crazy. I think it still holds up. It's just its production value is like in a sub basement,
I'm listening to it right now, in fact. So I'm playing it while we're talking into my headphones that I have on. And I can tell you this, just from listening to it, audio, there's a little bit of ambient noise and environmental kind of atmosphere. But I would say this could probably be cleaned up. I'll be honest with you. It could probably be cleaned up and re-released that way. That would be, my just gut instinct off of it. It's, it sounds like a recording from some time ago, but given the new technology that we have and the capacity for processing audio, probably can be improved 100% in terms of the audio quality, just given what's available today.
Well, that'd be lovely. I mean, I have it on there kind of as a placeholder because originally it was just on CD. We're talking about 2004. I think I did it on Cafe Press. So we're talking about ancient history here. Like we got to do core samples to even know what this crap is. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's deep time. But I got the original files off of, the person who worked on it. She sent me the original files. They were like MP3s, and I put them up on Spreaker just to have like an extra backup. And I think I have the CDs floating around somewhere in a bin in the basement or something. But yeah, I don't know. It was tripped out. It was fun to do that kind of thing.
I'd play with it. I'll download it and see if I can clean it up a little bit for you. And then honestly, like, dude, you could put it out as an audiobook on Audible. Why not?
That would be swell. That would be swell. I also have my nephew did a spoken word CD for me, one of those GPS spoken word things where it's like like a PDF reader that reads it, and it came out pretty good. I don't do that stuff because I have no, like, you're a very talented man. Not only can you produce it, but you can, like, all the sound engineering and software and stuff. I don't have that. I don't have that capacity, but creativity I got.
Yeah. Well, little bits at a time. That's always my perspective on it. It turns out Spreaker is owned by iHeartRadio now. They probably weren't back then, but
Yeah, no, I had no idea. I don't know. Like I said, I did that before the pandemic. That stuff's been on there for like a minute,
I
So
thought you said you did this back in. Oh, you loaded it up before the pandemic,
correct.
but you recorded
Yes,
it.
back in 2004.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, because here's the upload date. It says September 26, 2018.
Yeah, that must be when I put it up there. And when the project was like getting wrapped up back in '04, my friends and I who were doing it, we went to go see War of the Worlds in the theater. So that should date you like as far as like what.
The Tom Cruise one.
But yeah, no, well, we watched that flick and stuff while we were working on that project. It was real tripped out and cool.
Are you saying it's inspired by that film to a degree?
The music towards the end, I think, takes a turn where that film might have had something to do with it. Yeah, because it starts out like that project starts out like the seasons. Like in the beginning, it's real springtimey and bubbly, and then it goes into this like summer where there's all this like chaos, and then it's like fall, winter, and it's like apocalypse. And there's some crazy stuff on that record. My early Posey, the stuff I was writing in '02 was like really, really tripped out and raw.
Nice. Yeah. So this is, I'd never even heard of this platform before. So, that's, it kind of falls in that gap period where I wasn't doing podcasting after I had been doing podcasting a little bit some years earlier. Kind of interesting, how stuff pops up and, like here it is. I'm surprised. Like, I don't know if I distribute to iHeart. Let's see. Let's open this up. Let's have a look. Let's know. Don't you want to know? Maybe I am on there. I don't even know it. I'm not seeing anything. Podcasts. I'm not seeing my material when I type in the magic words. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Maybe you have to interface directly with iHeart or Spreaker. Yeah, interesting. I find it kind of wild that you did this. I don't want to call it an audiobook because I don't really feel that that's what this qualifies as. And you're saying there's like music and maybe sound effects or something in here too. From reading the description, kind of wild. So it's kind of like an audio drama, but it's like, I don't know, it's something in between some of this other stuff, but that's what's nice about audio.
I was the only one in my friend circle back then who regarded spoken word. I lived near Vintage Vinyl in Fords. It's Woodbridge, New Jersey. Vintage Vinyl was the legendary record store. The only thing that was more infamous was the Princeton Record Exchange, which I believe still exists. Ancient vinyl hub. Everyone knows it. It's like a cultural like icon. I think Vintage Vinyl closed post the pandemic, like they just couldn't handle it anymore.
That's a drag.
You dig it, yeah. But like I used to buy all these spoken word discs, and it's like I listened to so many of them that I was like inspired with my poetry. But I knew someone who was a music maker. She did electronic stuff and pixel art, talented. Her name is Bunny Stick. She's on X.
I see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she did the music. And my philosophy to her was like, when it was music, we were trying to do technoetry. That's the wordsmithing I use. But otherwise, I wanted it to be a soundscape. I wanted her to just try to create, as you said, it is sort of an audio drama. That is, and that's not typical of spoken word. Most of the time, spoken word is just whoever talking, And maybe there's a trumpet, and maybe there's this or that, but there ain't nothing. Like, we were trying to take it to the next level. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've done stuff like that as well, here and there. I don't know if any of it survives or if any of it is worth digging up. I'm pretty good about saving stuff, but at the same time, like, there's some things that stick with you and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go dig that up. And then some things where you're like, yeah, that was a nice experiment, but it's not necessarily congruent with what I'm focused on at this point. Like music in general, like the album, I've recorded a bunch of albums with bands that I was in and stuff like that, and done recordings, and they don't really matter to me anymore, because they're just not really. I don't require them any longer. Sometimes I'll go back and listen to stuff, just to hear, what was going on. Some of those people that I recorded with are dead, at this point, and nice way to thematically think, Thanksgiving time period, go back and be thankful for the times that you had with them.
The wheel keeps on turning, man. That's for sure. You just got to hold on. And yeah, people come and go. I dig it. I know. I've had loss. I've had addition, subtraction. It's just how it is here.
Yeah. So I got a question for you. When are you intending to start launching on Royal Road?
My cover artist has made time for me. He's going to be making me the 3 covers. They're more simplistic than having to work it for Amazon. Amazon is not only a pain in the ass to work with as far as all that, but you got to jump through hoops with this. It's got to be a certain this and that. I can't do that stuff even with a gun to my head. That's why I pay people, because I tried to do it a couple years ago. It took me days to fail, and it was like, nah, I'm good. What I'm hoping that Royal Road will be a simpler interface, and if it's what I think it is, it should be.
Here's something to consider just briefly.
Sure.
If you are going to be putting this stuff out on Amazon, you might design for Amazon first and then strip it down to what you would like to be on Royal Road. So you kind of work backwards in that sense.
Well, that would be wise. The problem is that number one,
Duke of New York.
I'm trying to get him to make me these 3 streamlines in the time it would take him to make me one for Amazon. Like, because what I want to do basically is I want to put these on Royal Road, hopefully reap the benefits of that platform.
Are you going to be putting them out, all 3 of them, simultaneously or in sequence?
I was recommended that you do them all at once. I have to kind of like look into that. I have to see, first of all, what kind of pain in the ass it's going to be. If I can get one cover before the others, then I might start posting them. The advice I got was that what you do is you pick like a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And you post one day, one the other day, one the other day. And if you do that, you're getting 3 different audiences. You have 3 different books, 3 different audiences, but the communities are all going to be interlocking. They're going to be, because people are supposed to recommend, oh, you should check this one out. Who by who? Oh, that guy Ricky. He's the size of a tool shed, but he sure does write real good. And it's like, then when you have that triple release, it's supposed to blow up. And if it's monetized like to a Patreon, people act like you can make money. I'm there more for exposure, because my Patreon's going to have all my book links. It's going to have all my goals, including the mountain. Like, I need $15 million to make this mountain. Like, literally,
yes.
everything that I have that I want to do is going to be on there. And anybody that digs my stuff can, you don't got to give me nothing. You could belong to Royal Road and communicate and network for me, and that would be great. If you're a fan of mine, I'm not saying for free. I don't have a coffee cup holding it up to you. I'm an underground writer. I work full time, but I write all this stuff. I'm trying to blow up. I want to get my Book of Draken project. I want that to eventually be a legitimate print, like TradPub. But otherwise, if they could pay for this stuff to get put in print, I'm not bashful. I hate to tell you, I'm not bashful. I'm really not,
I'm
because
with it.
it's expensive. I've spent a lot of money putting up the books I put up,
Yeah.
and it's expensive.
Yeah, it 100% is, in a variety of ways. I know there are many services that are offered out there in terms of production and promotion and kind of like the step-by-step guide of things. I threw myself into doing the first one when I did in 2019 and like slogged through the process of learning it. Now, I also have a general knowledge of how digital design works. I wouldn't call myself a good designer, but I know how to do it. So being able to like manufacture these components, do layout, do covers, and interface with the platform and all the rest of that stuff. Luckily I keep my costs like at the floor level, literal $0 costs to produce a book. In that way, ideally able to keep things at a pretty good, level as an indie. I'm in the same boat with you. If I could get, a relationship with a lit agent and get into some kind of traditional publisher with a release, I'm not gonna pass that up if it's the right sort of arrangement. Not gonna take like just. I don't need to. I don't have an inherent need to say like, oh, I'm working with a traditional publisher or any publisher, but if the arrangement is good and the potential, the possibility is there for something, yeah, I would definitely do it.
Yeah, with me, it's like goals are accessory to the dream. Like I have many dreams, and there's like jingle jangly goals that go along with each dream. And so long as I'm making steps down that hallway, up that road, whatever, as long as I'm doing that, then that's where I need to be. Like these books I was writing, I didn't even know what I was going to do with them. Royal Road came into my life between you and MJ, and I thank you both for that.
Oh, also, I just I had sent you that article on Royal Road like some months ago, and I don't know if you read it, but I just like replied to that post in our DM chat here on Twitter, and like if you haven't read that, I would say go read that in addition to all the other research you're doing.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, I'll check it out once I'm done with the show today. I'll have a little bit of time before my relatives get here, but they are on the way. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this holiday. It's going to be. Thank you for that. I'll check that out ASAP, Michael.
It's not an incredibly long read. Hey, Paula, you're hanging out. If you want to come up, grab a mic. You're more than welcome. We know you. We're familiar with you.
We certainly do. I podcast with Paulette. Yeah. To wonderful effect. We got some excellent content through the novel design workshops. Those have been doing well, seemingly.
Yeah, that's a real service. I feel like you're doing there, because like your insight into creating a book and chunking it into like manageable goals is notable. For me, it's beyond my scope right now, but at the same time, your thinking on it is far more advanced than what I have the current possibility of working on. But at the same time, like, you're putting the ideas in my head. Maybe it'll happen at some point.
Well, that would be excellent. I wouldn't tell you what to do, put it to you that way. You have a wonderful creative energy, you have a great output. Your projects are very, very cool and stylish. Um, but if you ever did want to go to that next level, as I've offered before, it's for the asking. It would be an honor to help you with that. But you probably don't have time. Like, you got to make time to do stuff like that. You're a busy man, I'm sure, you know. Um, Not to say that Paulette isn't busy. I'm sure she is,
I'm a
but
busy man too.
right on,
You
right
guys
on.
are more probably singularly focused than I am. I'm a little scattershot in that sense comparatively. However, I'll ask you this, Paulette, specifically, what are some of your favorite aspects of working with Ricky on these novel workshops? What have you taken away from it that maybe give us the, top 3 to 5 things that have really helped you?
What's helped me is that, in my opinion, he has a more structured way of going about doing a novel, and I'm more of a pantser. So to hear how you can plot out and budget your words and composite characters, and it's just a different way. In some ways, I may have done it, but I wasn't really thinking about doing it. This makes me think about what I'm doing, and it helps it to clarify it.
Okay, so that's one, you
That's
know.
one. And, I like the richness that Ricky brings to the conversation because I'll ask questions, and it's not just the direct answer, it's the why behind the answer, and I like that. It makes me feel more informed, and I can move forward with that, just having that extra knowledge. I don't know if that made sense, but that's a that's definitely one.
All right. So we got two. Um any other things that they don't even have to be the best points. Any other uh updates, information on the work you're doing that is important for us to know?
I am well, the girls are stuck again. Not sure how to get them out of this situation, so I've been working on that. It's I've not been too well lately. I've had the flu or cold or something, so I haven't felt like writing for a bit. So I have to get back into it. I haven't been in that mind space for a little while, except for today. Today's been a good day, and just kind of going through it and just rereading some of the chapters and adding on and building it up. But nothing major yet.
What's your word count, page count? Where you at? How far do you want to get to?
Hopefully 100K. Right now I'm at 21.
Oh my god. 21 is plenty. We keep gaining and losing Ricky. He'll be back again, I'm guessing. I feel like I don't want to leave him out of this conversation because it's you guys are the ones
It's about
working
him.
together. Yeah, to a degree, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, so you got 21. You're shooting for 100. Um, what else should we know? What else do you have out? I know you have poetry stuff out too, don't you?
I don't have a poetry book. I just spit some poetry in spaces once in a while, as they say. But I have a YA paranormal. That was the first book I wrote, and I self-published, and then the memoir, and then the silly sci-fi that I've done recently. It was one that I had started way back in my 20s and told my husband about it. He said, "Hey, why don't you bring that up again and see what you can do with it?" So I did, and people thought it was kind of funny. Some people thought it was funny. So I went ahead and published that as well. And that was through Alien Buddha Press.
That's a great name.
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny. Is that yours or is that somebody that you're working
That's
with?
someone else's.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. How did that relationship go?
I initially sent them a short story called Nevermind. It was a little sci-fi, and they enjoyed it. They got my humor. And I thought, well, if they get my humor with this, maybe they'll get it with this one. And I sent it out, and they were really excited about it. So, um, yeah, it was great. It wasn't anything complicated. It was just they set it out for me and put it out there on Amazon, and it's all good.
Yeah, that's cool. Uh, you're going to be working with them for this next one, or
No, for this one, I don't have any publisher or agent in mind. I'm going to have to go
are
out there
you?
and query it.
Yeah. Okay, so this is something that we've been talking about on the writer's block because we've been bringing on a lit agent once a month for the last 2 months. Do you want to wait until you're done, or do you want to start doing that uh, in the interim?
I've got two sides of me on that. One of them's like, let's query, let's see if anybody's interested enough, and then the other's like, you need to finish this up. You need to have something to show if they really want to see something.
Well, you can have a brief for them, and then if they get a little nibble on that, then maybe you send them a couple chapters and you say, "This is where I'm headed." You know,
That's true.
so
That's true. I guess I
options.
always felt like you had to have it done.
You do not have to have it
You
done,
don't?
in fact,
Okay, that's good to know.
but it's not going to hurt. The only thing about having it done is that, like, you might feel that you're done with it, and then you end up, you could kind of use an agent as is like a beta reader, really, in a sense. And then if you get to like that next phase of things with a publisher, they're going to have ideally some beta reading processing going on, and then potentially an editor as well. And you might end up having to make some more adjustments and changes to that editorial along the way. So that's the thing. Like, I think this is, purely my perspective on it. But if you're
Right.
going to do that, you might as well just start as early as possible, because if they want changes or they want
Mhm.
something particular, then you can craft the thing that they want. And why not? Who cares? Like, if you're going to work with people, you're working with people. If you're going to do your own thing independently, then you can do whatever you want, and it doesn't matter what they think or
Right.
what they want. But if you are intending to work with them, why not get them in on the ground level of this thing so that their input is, you know uh valued in the early stages as you keep placing brick by brick. Ricky, are you back?
Sort of.
Sort of.
This thing was glitching out. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, man, I don't know. I had to restart.
That's what was happening to me on your spaces the last couple of times.
Yeah,
Kept losing
some
audio.
kind of all-seeing eye is interfering.
So just to recap, because you're back now, Paulette said you have been a fantastic writing coach. You've inspired her to get this book done almost now. It's almost finished, and she is looking for a lit agent. She's going to publish with one of the big five and move units.
First of all, I believe all that's possible. Paulette is a very, very talented writer. She's got a voice for light years. Anything I've ever heard her read or have read myself from her, it's incredible. Like the damn frog book, man, is like genius. It's a genius book. It's funny. It's like paced like a machine. It's poetic. Like there's nothing drab about that. It's phenomenal. So when I heard her, she read this story on one of MJ's spaces or whatever. When I heard her read this, I was like, this is fantastic. So that's the proposition. But it hasn't been this monumental slog. Like she draws water like crazy, man. It's just more fun working out the numbers and talking about inspiration, doing the composites. the fantasy cartography. She's the only one that's ever really cooperated. I've been trying to do these workshops for years. Not everybody feels it, you know. I only get so much participation, but despite her skills, she very humble. She's like, yeah, let's, and I was like, this is wonderful. And if you listen to the content, I really think it bears all that, you know.
Very nice. Heidi, you're hanging out. What are you doing? How is it coming along? Are you cooking? Are you
Am I cooking?
working on audio? What are you doing? What are you doing today?
I'm sort of taking the week off, but I got my villain chapters that Will did.
Oh, did
back.
you? How'd they come out? Good. You're loving them. You're hating
I'm
them.
I'm loving them.
Oh, good.
I'm like almost like just sick to my stomach about how good he is. So I don't know. I just saw you guys in here.
Yeah, we're hanging out.
Wanted to kind of join in, and I'm not really doing much this week. I felt I needed to take a week off and sort of recenter myself because I was
Wow,
getting.
that sounds like some real hippie shit. I'll be honest with you.
Thank you.
Send me an MP3 of Will's stuff. I want to hear it.
Yeah, you do. No, yes. And please never again refer to me as a hippie or I will have to block you.
Yeah, right. This is like
I
the third time I've done it.
I lived in like the San Francisco Bay Area my whole life. I'm hippied out. Thank you very much.
Guilty as charged is what I'm hearing.
Oh no. You're not hearing. I'm just just got my son's home. I'm just sort of like I'm gonna take a week and just sort of let everything simmer because I need to kind of do that right now, basically. But Will just sent me those chapters, so I'm all worked up about it.
Nice.
I'll send them to you. They're brilliant. Sorry.
Yeah, that's great.
Kind of
Congrats. I'm happy.
we're sending gifs to each other where we're crying at each other.
You're sending what?
GIFs.
What?
No. You having fun?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad. I hope I'm here to entertain you.
How's that pronounced again?
I'm really good at it, so there you go.
Yeah.
GIFs. Oh my gosh.
You can say it correctly. I know you can.
I am saying it correctly.
You're definitely not.
God.
It's fine.
Oh my gosh. All right. So that's where I'm at. I'm just like sort of sitting here really liking what he did and just listening to you guys and just kind of taking a moment because I need a little bit of a break from existence.
You've been ripping.
How's that?
You've been ripping. You've got an audiobook in production. You've got a volume 2 in production. You've got a short story in production.
Yeah. And I needed a moment because they're all making me crazy.
Well, short trip.
Yeah, well, don't tell anyone. I try to hide it.
So
that's all that's going on with me.
Yeah, that's cool.
Kind of bad.
You're becoming prolific,
Yeah. It makes you a little nuts though, doesn't it? When you start getting too many things rolling. Am I the only one gets a little kind of spazzy about it?
I do
Anyone
a lot
else?
of notes. Honestly, the person I ask is Ricky. He's got 9 projects in the works right now.
The question is on the table. I get a little spazzy if I got too much going on. It kind of makes me feel too split apart. But so I felt like, I've got my son, is home. So I'm just trying to like take that moment and try and pull myself back together. I don't know. That's it. That's where I'm at.
Casual. Nice.
Thank you, Kurt.
Ricky was going to say something. He unmiked. I saw him.
Well, I'm writing like 4 books right now. Writing lyrics, poems. It's just, there's not enough time in the day. If I was a full-time writer, I already know like how that would go. Like 4 hours a day would yield 2,000 words. There would be a couple hours break. Another 4 hours would yield another 2,000 words, reaching for a 4K ceiling, maybe higher, who knows. I feel like I legitimately feel like I could do that, because there's days I draw 3 jobs for the boss and I still write 2K. So if I actually had an unfettered, open-ended schedule, uh, as far as like getting flustered, I don't know, and I'm not going to jinx myself. So I'm going to cross my fingers and my eyes. But I don't, that doesn't happen to me. I get flustered if I have to go do people-y things. Like if I have to leave my writing desk, that's when the fluster starts. I like to have a lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a lot of fire in the irons.
Let me make this recommendation for you, Ricky. Have you thought about quitting your job? Just quit and write full time.
The reason that can't happen at the moment, first of all, to say it's a relentless fantasy that haunts me would be an understatement. But the practical reality of it, the actuality of it, ain't really so likely. I'm not a healthy man. I have a bad heart condition. I have to have the benefits that I have, which are not stellar. I'm grateful for them, but they're not creme de la creme. I know people who like pay $5 copay to deliver a child because they work for the government or whatever. So their benefits are like liquid reality. Mine, they get the job done. I got to fight with people on the phone. They don't actually want me to be alive, as best as I can tell, but they pay for stuff. So I guess it's okay. So until I can make overwhelming money where I absolutely can just buy my own insurance and I have no issue, that's the problem. I can't. Believe me, I would love to. I was thinking about it before the pandemic, and had I done that, I would have been doomed. So it's because at that time, what I thought I needed versus what I actually needed was offset by that event, and also some miscalculation besides. But yeah, I'd love to. It would be the greatest. Part of the thing on my Patreon is going to say, do you love Ricky? Do you love Ricky's writing? Support Ricky.
Yeah, that's
give
fair.
Ricky money so that Ricky can write full time, so you can have more of what you like. Because that's all I want to do is write chapters, man. I promise. Like that's all I want to do. That's obviously why I'm incarnated here in this terrible world, is to do this. So I don't see why not, you know?
You're one of my favorite types of New Englanders.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
Just the self-deprecating, sarcastic, cynical humor. New Englander. I like it.
Well, I'm from Jersey, and if there's plenty of my kind of apple over where I'm from, some even more cantankerous and warped than me. Believe me, my friend circle back there is like, wow. That's all I got to say, you know?
Full support. Yeah, that's the thing I think also about being a creative, being somebody producing things, is like finding a way to make it work and get an audience for stuff, and letting them know that you're consistently producing things. You're always kind of like releasing something new for them to engage with, either whether that is something small like an EP or a single or a short story, or something larger like a book or an album or a film. These are the things that an audience participating in your success, that's what they're looking for regularly. That's my perception of it. And because we are these indie creators, we're these people climbing the mountain, so to speak, we have to continuously put new things out there and promote around them, and find new audiences to participate in that stuff.
I'm hip, and I dig especially the little mountain metaphor you put in there. I find it to be very
Sisyphean.
yes, indeed. Yeah, and also, I mean, my ultimate dream is getting to my mountain. That's where I'm trying to be. So it makes sense.
So, couple of things. November Sumo Grand Tournament ended on Sunday. If you didn't watch it, the replays are available up on NHK World for a little while. I don't know how long they leave them up there anymore. They used to leave them up for a long time. Now I feel like they kind of take them down after 2 weeks or something, a much shorter period than in the past. They are trying to drive viewership, or maybe just save on their server space. Hard telling. I don't know. Go catch up. It is a fantastic time for competition at the highest level, Makauchi, and just great competition in the upper ranks, between the Ozeki and that, because there's no real clear dominant force in the league right now, and you're just watching great talent emerge and ascend. Young guys, a few older guys still hanging out who have been around since the era of Hakuho. But just a great time if you're looking to get interested in a new sport. And it really only takes half an hour a day for 15 days every 2 months. It's not a big commitment, At any rate, for today, are there any final thoughts from the folks hanging out that you want to get out of your mind, off of your chest, that you haven't said yet? No one? Nothing from anybody? You're all satisfied, integrated.
Well, I was waiting to see if either Heidi or Paulette was going to say something, but I think your shows are super chill. I think we talked about a lot of really cool stuff, went back and forth. I find this sort of thing to be affirming, and I don't like that word normally, but in this particular case, I feel it's applicable. Like it's a tribal thing. We're creative tribe. Like, we're gathering around the fire, and Michael's kind of like the coal biter who's psyching us up. Like, we got to go face the other tribe. We gotta face the adversities of the world and all this other stuff. And it's like, I like the celebration of creativity. I like the celebration of output. I find it all to be very relevant and heartful, and it's well done. So, as far as all I have to say, I can't really think of anything else. And I do appreciate everything that's being done here.
Well, I'm glad you like it. This is this is a hangout. This is for all of you, and for me also, I get to pick your brains and hear what you think and catch up. And ideally, we're talking about books, we're talking about creativity, we're talking about publishing and all these things as expressions of our deeper self. But, fundamentally, it's just a casual hangout. It's not really, we're not trying to do something, we don't have to get anything out of this besides enjoying the time passing and the conversation. All the same, Heidi, Paulette, any thoughts, any things that you want us to know about? Any favorite Thanksgiving meal components that are must-haves that maybe the rest of us don't know about yet?
Well, it's going to be whatever Bob Evans has available.
That's where you're going?
That's where we're going. We're going to do Bob Evans and come back, put up the tree, and wrap presents. So, just me and my husband.
Nice.
So that's good for us. Yeah. Don't have to worry about cleaning up dishes or anything like that.
Not at all. Yeah, that's good. What are you getting at Bob's?
I'm going to get the classic Thanksgiving with some turkey, some stuffing. Got to have cranberry sauce. So I think that'll do me. Whatever they have for sides, I'm fine with that.
Heidi, what did your son fly across the country for?
Oh,
It was like, you got to make this. If you don't make this.
Oh, he's telling me that now that he eats out of the cafeteria, he'll eat anything.
Hmm.
Which is fun. No, I think he mainly wants me to make him breakfast every morning because he hasn't had that for a while. No, I got dinner, but got a little derailed. My parents were coming over, but now they're both sick.
Uh-oh.
So it's going to be a little smaller for us, which will be fine. I'm just going to bring them food because I don't want to get Ryan sick, and he'll be back here in 2 weeks. So
Right. He's
we don't
only
want to get
got
him.
2 more weeks of school left after he
I
goes
know,
back.
right? He flew out here for a week, and he flies back Saturday, and then 2 weeks later he flies back.
You'll be getting sick of him.
Yeah, we'll see. He'll probably. Well, I don't know what to. You know. It is what it is. It happens, right? No,
Yeah.
we're just having traditional stuff. I
Turkey
I
or
too,
ham.
Paulette, I kind of ordered it so I could spend time with my kid, and he's been spending time with his friends the whole time. So yes, I could have cooked. He spent the night over at his friend's house last night.
Rooked.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm not going to tell him no. No, you can't see your friends. You have to sit with your mother.
Well,
Anyway.
hey, happy Thanksgiving to
Yeah.
everyone. Enjoy your dinners. Enjoy your friends and family. Enjoy the weekend. And
What are you doing, Michael?
I'm going to eat the food, all my favorite foods. I'm hanging out with the family and friends. You know, I just said what I'm doing.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Um,
You sort of said it in third person. I
yeah,
think that's
well, you know, we like to elude to the things. We like to carve out the shape, and you, from whatever angle you see the shape, you know, the thing is the thing as you see it, you know. That's fine.
so okay.
What?
You go. You. All righty.
Hey,
Okay.
you know, thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. You know, we'll talk again before too long.